Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Week in History. I'm Alexandra Schneider. Thank you so much for joining me. This week we're going to start off by going way back to 1899, when Lake Forest formally opened its new City Hall and Public Library on July 1st. Almost 500 people turned out to hear Library President J.J. Halsey and Mayor Edward Gorton praise the progress the town had made since its foundation, not 40 years earlier. Frank Page, the superintendent of schools, also spoke, pleased that the new library would offer an increased wealth and quality of literary materials for students. In addition to its academic function, it was hoped the library reading room would serve a somewhat social purpose, taking the place of the clubroom and the saloon as a place for the community to gather. And in 1925, U.S. Senator William P McKinley visited Lake Forest as part of his Lake County tour to drum up some re-election support. Prior to his stop in Lake Forest, McKinley made an appearance in Waukegan, where he gave a public talk about the socioeconomic conditions in Europe. He placed emphasis on the unstable financial conditions in France and especially Germany, where prosperous families were now surviving on a very low income. Of course, it's very interesting for us now, retrospectively, to think about how the interwar period affected Germany, and what we know this in part would lead to in the not-so-distant future for those listening to McKinley's talk in the mid-1920s. McKinley also shared some poor economic news from England, where 2 million people were out of work and being supported by a weekly government dole. The Lake Forest took a rather uncharitable approach to these people, calling them loafers. But again, this is 1925, 4 years before the stock market crashed, and countless Americans would have been in the same situation. And finally, this year, 2020, is not the first year that a slight dampener has been placed on the 4th of July. 1941 marked the final year that Lake Foresters, outside of those with a special permit, would be able to buy firecrackers in-state. While many were disappointed by the turn of events, others were pleased to have the danger eliminated. Police Chief Frank Tiffany stated that anyone caught violating the ordinance was to be arrested and fined. Nevertheless, rides and concessions, concerts, ball games, and parades were all to carry on as usual. While 2020 may be a little less festive in many ways, I hope you all still find ways to celebrate, whether you choose to eat a bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers, wear red, white, and blue, or my personal tradition, watch Will Smith, Bill Pullman, and Jeff Goldblum take on some alien invaders. I hope whatever you do, you have a safe and happy Independence Day. And there you have it. That's This Week in History. Thank you again so much for joining me, and be sure to check out the History Center website for more great content.